Picture this. You're at your daughter's wedding. The venue is beautiful, the food is good, everyone you love is in one room. And somewhere between the first dance and the cake, your son-in-law leans over and says, "So, are you two thinking of traveling now that she's settled?" And you smile. But inside, something tightens, because the honest answer is, you are not sure you can afford to. Not because you were lazy, not because you did not save. You contributed to your 401k for 30 years, every paycheck, without fail. You did everything they told you to do. But here is what nobody told you. Every single one of those 30 years, a fee was quietly deducted from your retirement account. Not announced, not explained, not itemized on any statement you ever received, just taken, automatically, legally. And by the time you reach that wedding, that vacation, that moment you worked your entire career toward, that fee will have taken approximately $100,000 from your retirement. $100,000 that was yours, that you earned, that compounded for decades, and that silently disappeared into a fund company you never chose, managing money you never asked them to manage, at a cost you never agreed to out loud. That fee is called an expense ratio. It is expressed as a tiny percentage, typically somewhere between 0.03% and 1.5% or higher, buried inside the fund your employer selected when you enrolled. The difference between those two ends of that range is not a rounding error. Over a 30-year career, the difference between a low-cost fund at 0.1% and an average-cost fund at 1% on a starting balance of $100,000 is approximately $130,000. That is not a fee, that is a retirement. That is the difference between the person who travels after that wedding and the person who smiles and changes the subject. And the reason most people do not know this is happening is not because they are careless. It's because the fee is never presented as a fee. It appears as a percentage in a document that arrives once during enrollment when you are filling out 17 other forms and thinking about your start date. You signed a form, the fee began deducting, and in the 30 years since, nobody from HR, nobody from your plan administrator, nobody from the fund company has called to explain what that percentage has been costing you. Today, I am going to show you exactly what your 401k fee is, how to find it in under 5 minutes, how to calculate what it has already cost your retirement, and the specific move that could stop it starting this week. Because your 401k is one of the most powerful wealth-building tools available to working Americans. The tax advantages are real. The employer match is real. The compound growth is real. The 401k is not the problem. The fee hiding inside it, the one that was never properly explained to you, that is what we are here to fix. Let me show you exactly where to look. So, let us find your fee number. This takes 5 minutes, and you do not need to call anyone, log into anything complicated, or understand financial terminology beyond what I am about to give you. Everything you need is already accessible in your 401k account right now. First, log into your 401k account online. Every major 401k provider has an online portal. Fidelity, Vanguard, Empower, Principal, Schwab, Transamerica, all of them have one. If you have never logged in before, your HR department can give you the login link. It takes 3 minutes to set up, and you'll need it for what comes next. Once you're inside your account, look for a section called Investment Options, or My Investments, or Fund Details. The exact label varies by provider, but every portal has it. You're looking for the list of funds your money is currently invested in. Most people are in 1 to 3 funds. Some people are in a target date fund, something like 2035 fund or 2040 fund, named after the year closest to when they plan to retire. Whatever you're in, find it. Now, look for a column or a label that says expense ratio, or sometimes net expense ratio, or annual fee. It will be a small percentage, something like 0.8% or 1.1%, or if you are fortunate, 0.05%. That number, that small decimal, is the fee we've been talking about. Write it down. Actually write it down on paper or your phone, because the next step requires it. Now, here's what that number actually means in dollars. Take your current 401k balance, whatever it is right now, and multiply it by your expense ratio. If your balance is $80,000 and your expense ratio is 1%, you're paying approximately $800 per year in fees. Not once, every year, automatically, whether the market goes up or down, whether your fund performs well or poorly. $800 leaving your account every year in a fee that was never itemized on any statement you received. And that $800 per year is not just $800, because that money, if it had stayed in your account, would have compounded. Every dollar that leaves your account as a fee is a dollar that never gets to grow. At a 7% average annual return, $800 per year over 20 years is not $16,000. It is approximately $39,000. The fee does not just cost you what it charges, it costs you everything that charge would have become. This is why the expense ratio is one of the most consequential numbers in your financial life, and one of the least discussed. The stock market gets covered on the news every single day. Your expense ratio, the number that silently determines how much of your own retirement growth you actually keep, almost never comes up. Not at your enrollment meeting, not in your annual statement summary, not in the email your HR department sent when open enrollment closed. So now you have two numbers in front of you, your current expense ratio and the dollar amount it is costing you every year. Keep both of those numbers close, because in the next section, I'm going to show you what the alternative looks like and how straightforward it actually is. Now that you have your expense ratio in front of you, let me show you what it is being compared against. Because the fee you found did not exist in a vacuum. There is an alternative. It has existed for decades. It is available inside most 401k plans right now. And the difference between what you are currently paying and what you could be paying is, in most cases, the difference between a comfortable retirement and a compromised one. In 1976, John Bogle introduced the index fund to ordinary American investors. The concept was straightforward. Instead of paying a team of analysts and portfolio managers to actively select stocks, you simply buy a fund that mirrors an entire market index. The S&P 500, the total US market, the entire thing, thousands of companies for a fraction of the cost of active management. No stock picking, no expensive research teams, no manager bonuses funded by your retirement savings. The result of removing all of that overhead is a fee structure that is almost incomprehensibly low compared to what most Americans are currently paying. The Vanguard S&P 500 Index Fund charges 0.03% annually. Fidelity's zero-fee index funds charge literally nothing. Compare that to the average actively managed fund inside a typical 401k, which charges between 0.5% and 1.2% annually, and the math becomes impossible to ignore. Let me put two people side by side. Both are 40 years old, both have $100,000 in their 401k. Both contribute $500 per month until they retire at 65. Both experience the same average market return of 7% annually. The only difference is their expense ratio. Person A is in an average cost fund at 1%. Person B is in a low-cost index fund at 0.1%. After 25 years, Person A has approximately $630,000. Person B has approximately $780,000. The difference is $150,000 from one number, one percentage, that most people have never been shown side by side with the alternative. And here's the part that stops people when they hear it for the first time. The actively managed fund, the expensive one, does not outperform the index fund to justify its cost. Decades of documented data show that over any 15-year period, more than 80% of actively managed funds underperform their benchmark index after fees. You are paying more for less, consistently, over time. This is not a theory or a controversial opinion. It is the documented finding of Standard & Poor's SPIVA report, published every year, and it has shown the same result for 20 years running. The fund manager is not working harder for you because they charge more. The fund company is not delivering better outcomes because their expense ratio is higher. They are simply charging more because they can, because it was never explained to you, and because the difference between 1% and 0.03% looks like a rounding error until someone shows you what it compounds into over 30 years. So the question is not whether low-cost index funds exist inside your 401k. In most plans, they do. The question is whether you are currently in one, and if not, how straightforward it is to get there. That answer is what Part 4 is about, and it is simpler than most people expect. I want to come back to that wedding for a moment. Not the numbers, not the expense ratio. The wedding. The question your son-in-law asked. The smile you gave, and the tightening underneath it. Because that moment, that specific moment of sitting in a room full of people you love and quietly not knowing if the retirement you worked 30 years toward is going to be enough, that is what this video has actually been about. Not fees, not percentages, not fund options. That moment. And I want to tell you something about that moment. The tightening you felt. That is not weakness. That is not the result of failing to plan. That is the predictable, documented outcome of a system that never properly explained to you that a small decimal point on an enrollment form was quietly redirecting a significant portion of your retirement savings every single year for decades. The tightening makes complete sense. It was the correct response to an incorrect situation. But here is what changes after today. The next time someone asks you that question, whether it is at a wedding, or a dinner table, or a quiet Tuesday morning when you open your account and actually look at it, your answer is different. Not because the market changed, not because your salary changed, because you logged into a portal, found a number, and made a 15-minute decision that your future self will feel for the next 20 years. That is not a small thing. Most people will watch a video like this and feel the weight of what they just learned, and then close the tab and do nothing. Not because they do not care, because the distance between understanding something and actually doing something about it is where most good intentions go to disappear. I am asking you to be the exception to that, not for some abstract future version of yourself, for the person at that table, for the trip you want to take, for the answer you want to be able to give without something tightening inside you when someone asks. The math on this decision is patient, but it is not waiting forever. Every month that passes with a high-cost fund is another month of compounding that went to the fund company instead of your retirement. The 15 minutes this move requires is the highest return on time you will find anywhere in your financial life. 1 hour of your life, including the time it took to watch this video, in exchange for potentially tens of thousands of dollars added back to the retirement you already earned. And if you are sitting here thinking you started too late, that the years already behind you make the years ahead not worth optimizing, I want to address that directly. The people who benefit most from switching to a low-cost fund are not the 25-year-olds who have 40 years of compounding ahead of them. They are the 45-year-olds and the 50-year-olds who have 15 to 20 years left and cannot afford to keep losing a percentage point every year to a fee that was never necessary. If you are closer to retirement than to the beginning of your career, this decision matters more, not less. Every year counts more now. Every dollar retained compounds in a shorter window, but it still compounds. And the alternative, doing nothing, has a documented outcome that we spent the first 3 minutes of this video describing. You already did the hard part. You contributed. You showed up. Every paycheck for years, you made the responsible choice. The fee that has been working against you this entire time was not your decision. It was a default, a form you signed on a busy day when nobody explained what you were agreeing to. Today, you understand what you agreed to, and today you have the specific information to change it. That is a different kind of power than you walked in with. My name is Angela, and I'll see you in the next video.